Scentland, the land of scent. Hello and welcome everybody, Chris, back with another fragrance review. Actually, it's a top 10. I rarely do top 10s, but I have this series of covering a particular decade, and I've been asked by loads of people to do it about the new millennium, the new decade. Actually, I will do this review will be all about the fragrances released between 2000 and 2018, August, basically today, right? So it's going to cover much more than just a millennium, or so much more than just a decade. It will be the new fragrances, my top 10 fragrances of the millennium so far. And there have been loads of releases. I'm not going to cover all those tremendously selling Paco Rabanne 1 million, Bleu de Chanel, Sauvage and all that. It's not my cup of tea. I don't like them, and it's not my calling. My calling is to show you, first of all, these are my choices, right, according to my taste, and I want to elevate some fragrances that are under the radar, out of spotlight, so you get to know them. And there's many well-known fragrances here, but there's some unknown or less popular fragrances here that still are in my top 10. So let's start. Which is going to be the first year? Well, first year 2007, Spanish house of Cesar Rodriguez. For him, a fantastic dark yet somehow fresh patchouli fragrance celebrating the 70s, the vibe of the 70s. Very brave, very brave launch in that year from this house. It was their first male fragrance, and it's still around. It's such a genuine, great masculine fragrance that is really, in my opinion, one of the best releases of that particular decade. And it has to be represented in any top 10, and it's definitely represented here in my top 10, which actually includes, I haven't mentioned that, only designer fragrances, including 2 celebrity fragrances as well. No niche in this one, okay? So, Cesar Rodriguez for him in the top 10 from the year 2007. Let's see another year, and let's remain in Spain. Let's remain in Spain. 2016 is the year. The house is Loewe from Madrid. Loewe 7 Anonimo, celebrating the unknown, unspoken, unnamed hero of everyday's life. The man that, you know, contributes to your life without being called a hero, being called without having a name, right? That was the marketing. I love the marketing on this one. Loewe 7 Anonimo, a great incense dark fragrance, especially for winter time. I wore this when my son was born. I wore this in January of this year. It's a fantastically well done blend. I didn't want to cover actually any flanker, but this is done so well. It's a flanker to the Loewe 7 line, the original one, but it's a standalone for me. The name and the design is obviously very similar, and the name Anonimo is totally gorgeous, paired up with the marketing to this. Check it out, there's videos online on YouTube. Loewe 7 Anonimo, year 2016, great incensey heavy fragrance, love it. Very moody as well. Let's jump into the next year, yeah? Let's stay in Spain. I'm in the Spanish mood today, ladies and gentlemen. Antonio Banderas, celebrity fragrance, right? He has lots of fragrances out there. I'm struggling to even look at the shelf because I don't like the secret lock or whatever. I don't know what this is. Secret key or seduction, urban seduction, all of that. Wow, I hate that. I don't like that marketing at all. It's so primitive. But I'm not saying that he does not have great fragrances. Antonio Banderas does have great fragrances, and this is my favorite one. It's actually made it into my top 10 of the new millennium, called Antonio, named after himself, right? From the year of 2007. It has received the Fifi award as well. It's all about, as you can see actually in this very nice design here, it's all about honey. It's a bit of a aromatic patchouli kind of feeling to it with some honey. It's a great honey fragrance. It's This is eau de toilette concentration, but it kills each and every eau de parfum I know from this particular time. Except maybe the Montals, because the Montals are just like I'm not saying that in a good way, but I'm not a great Montal fan, but those fragrances are just sticking like glue. That's too much. But this one is intelligently blended with a tremendous performance. Antonio Banderas, Antonio from the year 2007, a great wintertime fragrance with a great honey vibe to it. And let's move on. It's let's deep dive. Let's jump over to Germany, the year of 2002. The house of Escada released this fragrance called Sentiment in 2002, which is a great exotic lime juniper berry pepper blend. I love it to bits. One of the best fresh fragrances I've ever come across. I love the design, I love the color, everything, the name, the performance, tremendous. And the lime juniper berry pepper is just the best the fresh fragrance with the substance, you know. This baby has substance while being extremely fresh and special. It's your exotic special fresh fragrance, not the usual, oh yeah, you smell like nice citrus. No, this is fantastic. Lime, juniper, pepper has to be there. It's much better than Magnetism. I like Magnetism, but from Escada, Sentiment has to make the top 10 of the millennium, of the new millennium. Let's turn back to Spain. I'm in a Spanish mood today, ladies and gentlemen. The house of Paco Rabanne, which is actually a Parisian house, we all know, but the roots are in Spain, released a fragrance called O. Paco Rabanne pour Homme O. And this is the bottle. Tremendous bottle, one of my favorite bottles, with this clear-cut, straightforward, see-through juice inside. Well, water, right? The fragrance is called water, so why not give it a watery kind of appearance? That's, again, it's a box, and it's called the first Eau de Fougère, a fresh, masculine, and authentic accord, and that's totally true. It is fresh in a special way. It has some special ingredients to it, like Palmarosa and Copaiu, which I have no idea what it is. Cedar moss and musk paired up with lavender create a very authentic accord, as it says on the tester bottle as well. It's fantastic. I really love it. 2002 was the year, if I have not mentioned it. To me, this was the very last release that Paco Rabanne has done well, because 1 Million joined in 2008, and since then Paco Rabanne is on the bottom of my choices. But this one, including the packaging, the juice, again, the braveness to introduce something new, for sake, honestly. I like Cesar Rodriguez, something new, something, you know, creative. Let's do the first Eau de Fougère. Paco Rabanne had balls to do it. Okay, they failed, yet creativity fails sometimes, but it produces great fragrances, such as this one. Next one. Let's jump over to the celebrity designer section again. Alain Delon released this fragrance in 2001 called Shogun. It's all about the Japanese emperor, the warrior, right, the tough guy, and it's called that way because his previous fragrance, released in '95, Samurai, was a huge hit in Japan, and he followed this up in 2001 with Shogun, which is not such a hit like Samurai, yet it's still in my top 10 of this new millennium, because it's such a fresh, spicy, bitter fragrance, smelling a bit like a freshly made gin tonic with loads of gin. I love bitter and I love fresh spicy, so for me, Shogun, with its performance and the name behind, I love Alain Delon. I'm a great fan of Alain Delon. He has been very successful in the 80s and 90s with his fragrances, and he, to me, made a successful step into the new millennium in 2001 with the introduction of Shogun onto the world market, mainly obviously focused on the Japanese market. Shogun from 2001 from Alain Delon. Yes, we are getting there. Let's travel to Paris. Let's look at the city. Let's look at the city map. There is a left bank There's the River Seine flowing through Paris, and there's a left bank where all the free thinkers, creative people, artists hanging out. And Yves Saint Laurent, the great genius of French fashion and world fashion, had his inspiration from that part of the city. The part of the city is called the Rive Gauche, the left bank, and so it's called the fragrance. Rive Gauche from Yves Saint Laurent from the year 2003, when he was still alive, and obviously had some sort of control what they're bringing to the market, because what they're bringing to the market nowadays, don't get me started, ladies and gentlemen. Rive Gauche, a utterly beautiful gentleman's barbershop fragrance. It's the entire everything about this fragrance is perfect. The smell, if you like this type of traditional smell. The packaging, it's still available, this fragrance, but in different packaging. Why change this gorgeous bottle? I mean, hey, fresh, clear cut, whatnot, tremendous. I really love this package, and I love the smell. And Rive Gauche pour Homme, there's a female version as well to it. Rive Gauche pour Homme, absolutely one of the masterpieces of the new millennium. Yves Saint Laurent, what a release. What a release. And we're getting closer now. We're getting to the top 3, and the top 3 includes a fragrance release from the house of Azzaro, yeah. Azzaro. Loris Azzaro, or Azzaro. The Azzaro, I think, right? 2003, I think, again, maybe 4. I reviewed this before. I forgot the exact year. I think it's 2003 as well, 2004. Called Visit for man. It has a female pair as well. Visit is just the fragrance with the best price quality ratio ever. This juice is, first of all, it's a cedar incense smell that is tremendously nicely done, niche quality type, especially in its performance as well, and it's still available. And the longevity part is stunning. The quality of the juice again is stunning. The fragrance it's a fresh yet dark, smoky incense cedar fragrance. Everything is. I love the packaging. It's a great sprayer, very ergonomic packaging. I love the color of the juice. Everything about Azzaro Visit is perfect in my opinion, especially if you take into consideration the tremendous price quality ratio on this one. It's just mind blowing, especially if you look all that overpriced crap that is hitting the market these days. No justification for that. If you can make a stunning fragrance like this for this price, you have to be able to make it the same way for other juices as well. Full stop. Right? That's my quick statement on that. Let's turn to Italy. I think we haven't even featured an Italian fragrance. What a shame. Gianfranco Ferré, the architect of fashion, sadly died in 2007, I think it was. And this fragrance has been introduced the year before, 2006, Ferré for Man. Many people mix it up with the Ferré Man, released in 86, I think it was. Totally different fragrance. This is such a beautiful blend. That's the bottle. It's a tester bottle, so it's missing the cap. With a mind-blowing, powdery, fresh, spicy rose accord, and the most brilliantly done oak moss, modern oak moss dry down I've ever come across. Nothing has this, but you have to have the nose for it. You have to have the patience for it. You have to smell your clothes when you smell them the next morning, and this wonderful oak moss on there, and with the rose and this powderiness, it's much better than the Dior powderiness, this lipstick thing that everybody's raving about. This is a million times better. Ferré for Men from 2006, a utter masterpiece, and again, price quality ratio unbeatable. This lasts forever. This projects extremely good. It's just it's a shame that not many more people know about it. Ferré for Men on spot number actually 2, because it's just mind-blowingly good. And on spot number 1, who else than the most famous, the epitome of fragrance in the world, the La Maison Guerlain, released, and they have a tremendously difficult job because they are very old, very traditional house, and stepping into the new millennium with something that it has appeal, yet it represents the past, the glorious past and history of the brand, yet it's at the same time popular and modern. It's very difficult to create. So I definitely I bow my head in front of them for releasing in 2004 a fragrance called L'Instant de Guerlain, because this, ladies and gentlemen, is I don't rate fragrances usually, but this is a 10 out of 10, total and utter fragrantic masterpiece, pour homme. Certainly, in my opinion, the best designer fragrance released in this new millennium so far. This is new packaging. I love this packaging. I love it because it fits in your hand. It's straightforward. The cap is now done finally well. I'll do a different review on Guerlain caps because I had my issues with some. But this fragrance is, what can I say? It's lingering, it's performing, it's a tremendous warm citrus blend with this fresh, slightly gourmand, slightly woody, extremely Parisian. Oh goodness, I could cry. This fragrance is so beautiful. It's so intelligently done. It whispers sophistication with every whiff, and you spray 2 sprays of this and you feel it all around all day. It is just utterly beautiful, and the development of the fragrance, from in the beginning you can smell the citrus, but it's not overdone. It's not a citrus fragrance, yet it's not a gourmand fragrance, yet it's a special blend that to me is the best blend that has been introduced to the market in this period of time, in this genre of designer fragrances. So Guerlain, to me, they delivered. They totally lived up to their image. I don't think it's Thierry Vassar yet. I think Thierry Vassar came on board later, but I'm not sure. But I don't think it's a Thierry Vassar creation yet. And maybe Jean-Paul is behind this. So L'Instant de Guerlain pour homme. There's an extreme version to this. I own this as well. That's too much. That's for those who want to scream and shout. This, utter beauty. So that was my top 10 of the new millennium, 2000s and beyond, up until today, August 2018. I hope you liked it. It wasn't easy. It wasn't easy to pack it into these 18 minutes as far as I can see. But I think there are some interesting things. Again, it's my choice. It's my top 10. There are great sellers out there, and there's many different tastes. But to me, these are the top 10 released from 2000 up until today. So thank you very much. That was Chris, and see you soon for another review. Cheers. Bye bye.